I like the occasional unscripted podcast. It's fresh, raw, improvised, naturally, perhaps expressive of the emotions of the moment, if there are such. But it's also time to release something new because I haven't in a week, and for the next week, I will be trekking through the Allgäu, which is, I have been told, a wonderful part of Bavaria where there are many forests and mountainous areas. So therefore, I cannot really think that there would be a possibility of doing a podcast from there. I am completely unaware as to the technical connectivity that there may be in the vicinity, but I mean, knowing how things are, it may even be better than in some parts of Berlin and Brandenburg, which, let's face it, wouldn't necessarily be difficult. But it's good to be on holiday, good to be away, good to have time with the family, time with friends, no specific responsibilities. Yeah, I think that's just generally what they call a holiday, isn't it? One of my latest podcasts is not actually on my channel. It was a very wonderful occasion where I was given the opportunity by Amber and Traci of the Road to Tar Valon podcast to talk about my favorite book series, The Wheel of Time, written by Robert Jordan and then finished by Brandon Sanderson, which is soon to become a TV series available on Amazon Prime. And this was the first time I actually had the opportunity to talk about this story because I didn't really know anybody else who had read it. Okay, my older brother, but Greg and I speak about so many different books. We never actually really got around to talking about The Wheel of Time, but it's just one of those things. Anyway, I will put a link to that particular podcast in the notes here, if for no other reason than it was such just a great chat, really. Traci and Amber are very different to the way that I do my podcasts. They are energetic, very lively, bouncing with humor, lots of laughter, very, very right on it with regards to the material and the preparation, generally much more so than I am. So, it was a very good experience for me as well, and definitely added to an awareness of what I would need to start introducing to produce, much better podcasts. But I'm going to have to apologize to those of you who listen to me in the meantime until those lessons are learned. Anyway, moving on to the Wheel of Time community. I think I've expressed many times why I had decided to come off of social media. If ever there was an advert or a motivation to inspire people to return to or join social media, it would be communities like the Wheel of Time or the Twitter of Time community, specifically on Twitter. I cannot comment for those on other platforms, but the Twitter of Time community is brilliant, very supportive, very welcoming, very open-minded. Of course, there are those who represent dissenting voices. It would be strange to have a situation where everybody agreed with everything. It would almost be like being a member of the Borg. I don't know if you've seen Star Trek or not, but the strength of a community is not in how everybody agrees, but it is in how people can disagree and still have respect for one another. And I feel that in the Twitter of Time community, there is obviously this huge underlying passion and love for the work of Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. But on top of that, there is an appreciation, an openness, an empathy for all of the other facets of life. There is, there's no need to specify specific categories of groups within society. Everybody is appreciated the way it should be. Everybody is welcomed. Everybody is valued. And that makes it very rewarding and amusing. I cannot possibly explain how many times I have spent afternoons and evenings going through some of the Twitter of Time tweets, and I either laugh or yeah, I kind of get that sense of emotion, when you know that something touching has just been expressed, and even though you were laughing a moment before, you kind of pause in your laughter, recognize the emotion, the supportive element of what you've just read, and then you think, yeah, that's cool. That's a community that I feel happy to be a part of, and that's what the Wheel of Time gives. I'm sure there are lots of other fandoms out there, if you want to call it those, which are equally supportive. And what I would generally say to people, especially those who, like me a couple of years ago, felt overwhelmed by the level of hatred and negativity on social media, identify something, whatever it may be, that you have a passion for, and seek out others, because there are certain to be others who have a similar passion, and use that commonality to forge a bond, essentially. And this is where I feel social media allows us to have a rewarding experience online. It's not the same as having a person who you can meet, hug in times when you need, have a drink with, or have dinner with, or have coffee with, or whatever. It's not the same, clearly. However, with these platforms being international, it's 24/7. There's always somebody up. There's always somebody to respond, somebody to engage with, have a conversation with, to listen to you perhaps. And that in itself provides a wealth of emotional support, I would imagine. And I think that is important. There are also lots and lots of people who are prevalent within these communities, who create content, who create material that in many cases reflects our own thoughts, but we had never voiced, in equally as many ways, express concepts, possibilities, theories that I had never considered. For example, with the Wheel of Time, and I've read this story on a number of occasions. But it's just great to be able to see things through the eyes of different people, through their experiences. I mean, when I read a book, whatever book it may be, I tend to bring the characters out in a way that reflects my experiences and my life, and the storylines also have that kind of influence through my interpretation and through my imagination. And so to listen to the thoughts of others, having filtered the same story through their thoughts and histories and experiences, it's a very enriching and enlightening experience. And so listening to other content creators for that purpose, it is a wonderful experience. it's entertaining, listening to people laugh, listening to people get emotional at the same points of a story that, for example, you or I had become emotional for. These are great experiences to share with others. Anyway, that's about it. This is just a very short little hello and goodbye. We're off for a week, and when I return, I've spoken with a number of wonderful people who have expressed a desire to talk with me on a podcast, and I'm hopeful to be able to produce those for you in the weeks to come. And yeah, I'm looking forward to them, and I'm sure they will be wonderful to listen to as well. So all the best for those of you who are on a break. Happy travels if you're going on holiday, and if you are either at work or just heading to work, then yeah, I wish you a relaxing and yet productive week. All the best from Two and a Mic. Two, 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 and a mic. Two and a mic.